free kick from a wide position. Watch out for Georgia Brown here. 6'2", 6'3". Center back coming forward. Huerta swings it in. Brown goes for it. Couldn't quite rise to meet the ball.
I actually like what they were trying to do tactically there. That was a mass of people right inside the 6, and you know, for her to be able to come out of that and get some contact on that ball was what they were looking for sure.
Here's Murray again coming forward with Kenton and Bowman. Bowman feeds to Kenton with her back to the goal. Out wide again for Bowman. Sophia Bowman, former Minnesota Golden Gopher. And it'll be a throw near the corner flag for Jacksonville.
Impressed with Jacksonville's pressure, starting up high defensively, and I think it's really playing some dividends as they've been playing in this half for most of this half.
Caroline Murray will take the throw from near the corner. Back to her and offside. That's a delicate little play and very easy to have the player who threw it offside, and Murray might be hurt down on the turf here.
Yeah, let's hope that's nothing serious because she's been really effective on this right side.
Grabbing the back of her left leg. Tabitha Santiago is the trainer who's heading out there. I heard Emerson talk about what Caroline's journey has been like. Playing in Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and Iceland. Let's take a look and kind of took a couple of steps after to see.
Looks like it might be a calf injury. It's tough to tell. Seems like she's getting tested to see if she can just go right back in.
It does not appear that there's been any movement for a sub here, at least at this point.
You know, I think Sporting JAX does have some good depth at this position, but you would hate for a veteran like Murray to only get to play a short amount of time in the opener.
Murray, 10 years as a pro, her first opportunity to play in her home country as a professional. It has been so much to her to be signed to the Sporting JAX squad. So we'll keep an eye on her. And now she's coming back in. That's a good sign for Jacksonville. Or seems to be grimacing just a bit still. Well, that bears watching moving forward. Marks over the top. Sophie Jones.
Wow, that's a
great 1-2-3 to Murray, gritting her teeth the whole way. Murray looks to get wide, cuts it back. Pennick. Sophie Jones into Paige Kenton, who couldn't handle it. Jacksonville right now getting to all the 50-50 balls. Here's Bowman. Back out wide for Murray. Back to Sophia Bowman. Georgia Brown coming forward from her center back position. Emily Colton, very active in the midfield for DC Power. Former North Carolina Tar Heel.
Sporting JAX got a little lucky there because when Georgia Brown came forward, I'm not sure their defense adjusted too well to that. So luckily that ball rolls out of bounds.
22nd minute here in Jacksonville. Game that started after a 2-hour delay with rain and lightning in the area. Beautiful through ball now for Kenton. Couldn't quite get to it. Sydney Cummings cleared it out. Another new face for this DC Power squad. Cummings, the former Spokane Zephyr, scored 3 goals in 21 appearances last season for Spokane. Guyana international.
And Cummings has had a terrific collegiate career. I think she really put Brown on the map with their first Ivy League title. She led that, sort of set the standard there, and I think she's trying to do the same with the DC Power.
I finished off her college career at Georgetown, so she's familiar with the DC metro area. Phil Potts off to Meg Hughes. A 1-0 Sporting JAX lead on a Jade Pennick goal. Here's Kenton on the run out. 1v1 and couldn't quite pull the trigger, but it will be a corner kick for Sporting JAX.
Well done by Aquino to come out and cut that off.
The weight of this ball looked very good initially, maybe splashed a little bit to slow it down. And Kenton couldn't lift it up over Aquino.
And good pressure from behind, too.
Grace Philpotts will take the corner from this side.
Once again, we got this big pack inside the 6. Looks like we're going to play an in-swinger here for JAX.
Philpotts, far post, another corner coming. It'll be another Jacksonville corner presented by Sunbelt Rentals. In your corner for all your equipment needs. Seeing Philpotts taking corners. Also, Ashlyn Puerta took what was in essence a corner, and Puerta will take it from this side. Puerta sends it all the way back. Philpotts tracks it down. Now back to Julia Lester. Center back Georgia Brown had come forward to try to be a target near the goal. Philpotts into Kenton with a header, just wide.
Have to be impressed with DC Power's organization on the set pieces. Really nothing too dangerous at this point.
For the latest on Sporting JAX, tune in to the Sporting JAX Report weekends on the stations of First Coast News. DC has had only a handful of opportunities toward the Jacksonville goal. You mentioned their organization. That has certainly benefited DC Power. Jacksonville has had a majority of the ball, though, for this first 25-plus minutes. Injuries coming forward. Now to Anna Bagley. Signed out of VCU last June. She was the second player signed by the team. Now Ellie Gilbert. Gilbert sends one toward the spot. And sent over the top. Colton had a shot at things, but elevated it too high.
Certainly DC Power's best chance so far. And that's quite a strike by Colton. You know, she didn't quite get over it the way she wanted to. I think she was trying to bend it a little bit. But in the end, that's a little bit too much space for a player of her caliber.
Colton, as a freshman, led North Carolina, one of the elite programs in the nation, with 7 goals. As a sophomore, she had an assist in the national title game. So from the time she arrived at Chapel Hill, she's been a force. Here's Kenton once again on the run out. Flag stays down. Paige Kenton out wide. Sends it to the near post. Puerta sliding to try to get to it. Could not. Aquino clears it for DC Power.
You know, it seems like the width is really giving DC Power some issues. They've got to make some choices in terms of who they're going to step out to play, which leaves them a little bit exposed in the middle. So I wonder how this tactical matchup is going to progress as this match progresses.
Jacksonville has been able to create more opportunities here in the first half. Certainly had more possession in a dangerous area. Bagley tracking back for it. We've not said Gianna Gorley's name too much here.
You know, players like Gorley, though, it just take a little bit of a half chance, and she's lurking on that back line, always looking to get it over the top. Can come down and get it and receive it with her back to goal, too, but she's a dangerous player that can't be overlooked.
Paige Almendary's wanting a little more enthusiasm from somebody, I think. Fouled at the moment there by Kenton. It'll be a free kick for DC Power. Header by Georgia Brown. Back to Kenton. Now here's Sophia Bowman. Pennick, the goal scorer. And a DC player is down.
Looks
and
like
that's Almendary's.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like Paige. And again, hopefully that's not an injury either, because she's been a real impact player for them already in this game, coming over from Tampa Bay, where she had a good first year. Let's hope that this is something that she can get up and walk off.
She may have, I may have misinterpreted her signal. She may have been asking somebody to get up and get loose a little bit earlier. She was tangled up with Paige Kenton a minute ago. Let's see what happened here most recently. Kenton again kind of got her hand up in the face.
Yeah, anything when you get hit around the head is a little bit scary, but that doesn't look like it's going to be something that's going to keep her out of the game. Trainers got to do their due diligence, which they seem to be doing. Good to see both teams circled up and sort of talking out the strategy, and I'm sure with JAX they want to keep the momentum going, and maybe for DC this is an opportunity to regroup a little bit and talk through some of those tactical choices we were talking about earlier.
Emily Gumowitz, the trainer for DC Power, taking a close look at Paige Almendary's. Sporting JAX season tickets are on sale now. Call 904-863-KICK or go to sportingjax.com to join the movement. Sporting JAX announced today that capacity had been reached in terms of tickets distributed for this game. 9,400 is the capacity for this stadium. They were set to sell some standing room only tickets as well because of the demand. Not sure how many standing room only tickets were sold with the weather, but we'll look to get a report a little bit later on. But it continues the trend. Every team in their home opener last year in the Gainbridge Super League had great attendance, many sellouts. And one of those sellouts was Carolina. All right, back to it. Here's Sophia Bowman crossing it back. Huerta. Well, she'll want that one back.
Such a great cutback ball, and certainly you could see what Puerta wanted to do there, looking for that far post.
Another look here.
It's a little bit behind her, but still a great ball, and I think you're right. I think Puerta's going to want that one back.
She scored 4 goals and 5 assists in 21 games as a freshman at Florida State. Talked about North Carolina as one of the elite programs. FSU right there. After just 1 year, offered the pro contract and joined Sporting JAX. High expectations for Ashlyn Puerta's future career.
It's really fun to watch her play. She's just so creative on the ball, and I think we're going to see a lot out of her as this season progresses.
The cohesive passing for Sporting JAX has been very strong here in the opening half. For a team that didn't have as many preseason matches as they wanted, and an entirely new roster that has been playing together for about 7 weeks. They do look like a team who are all on the same page.
I really enjoy watching Sophie Jones in that midfield. You know, she just seems to be someone that everyone trusts with the ball, and the way they play is demonstrating that.
This ball stays in. Kenton onside for it. Now back to Caroline Murray. Murray's cross turned away, headed back by Bowman. Kicked away by Susanna Fitch. No whistle. And this one is out, and it will be a Jacksonville throw.
I think that ball by Leicester took DC a little bit by surprise because it didn't look like it was going to stay in. Not sure that was a textured ball or whether the water helped a little bit, but certainly it was something that made it a little bit dangerous.
The throw for Jacksonville coming here. 34th minute at Hodges Stadium in the inaugural match for Sporting Jacks. Jade Pennick's goal in the opening stanza of this match, the 7th minute, has given Jacksonville the lead. Another Jacksonville throw coming. Bowman to Murray. Goes down by DC. Set back, but Georgia Brown there for Sporting Jacks. She'll reset with Caitlin Parks.
It's not often that you see your keeper playing at the bottom of the circle, and you know, certainly Parks' confidence with her feet is part of that. But you can see how the team uses her as an outlet, and she's been really effective in that role.
Theoret trying to clear it out. Instead, a Sporting Jacks corner coming once again for Ashlyn Puerta.
I love how Puerta sets up for these corners. You know, she's such a set piece specialist. Oh, now she puts the ball down and gives it away, but man, she's someone who takes a lot of pride in her delivery.
I think there's been a divot taken over there. So instead of the right-footed Puerta, the left-footed Grace Philpotts will take this one. Another Sunbelt Reynolds corner. This one headed away. Kept in by Julia Lester. Lester's positioning has been sublime tonight. Every time the ball goes back that way, she seems to be waiting for it.
I think that's what you get when you have somebody that's got a bit of experience, and certainly Lester's professional career up to this point has given her that.
And another corner coming for Jacksonville.
You know, once again, I give credit to DC Power for their ability to stay organized on these. This is a lot of set pieces, a lot of corners that are coming their way, and they've dealt with them beautifully so far.
Potts headed away by Theoret, and once again Lester's there for it for Jacksonville. Murray turns it to Philpotts. Now Puerta was trying to feed it through for Bowman. Pennick got onto it for a moment, and then controlled by DC. Colton's ball forward to the feet of Gurley. Gurley getting harassed by 3 Sporting Jacks players. Meg Hughes dispossesses her.
I think Sporting Jacks has done a really, really good job of, when they lose the ball, being really united in terms of getting it back. And that group process has really helped.
Bowman splashes down as Cummings wins the ball for DC. Stacey Balaam, I would think you would be fairly pleased with what you've seen so far out of your expansion team.
Absolutely. You know, to have to sit through a rain delay, not to have as many preparation games as you'd like, and to be up 1-0, 36 minutes in, definitely nothing to complain about there.
They're constant coming forward from her center back position for DC. This one chipped over the top. Flag stays down. Anna Bagley there. Grace Philpotts trying to close her down. Well defended by Philpotts. A shot and a save and a head and in. And there is Gianna Gorley. Just as you said, given a moment, Gorley has equalized here with her first goal of the season.
You know, great goal scorers know where to be at the right place at the right time, and that was certainly one of them. It was a bit of a transition moment. It was a difficult situation for Sporting JAX to be organized in, but they, you know, you have to give credit again to DC for taking the opportunity.
Take another look at it. It was Bagley who started it. And Susanna Fitch with the ball that was saved initially by Caitlin Parks. And Gorley just found the open space.
Yeah, tough rebound to give up right in the middle of the goal. But again, credit to Gorley for being in the right place at the right time.
We've not used the time-worn cliche yet, but we will now. Goals change games. We'll see how it changes things here in the closing minutes of the first half. Sporting JAX had been on the attack and had owned the ball, and Sophie Jones now taken down.
You know, transition is a tough time. I mean, it's easy to, you know, find yourself in a good position when you're keeping the ball and it gets comfortable, but transition moments, you're most vulnerable, and we certainly saw that right there.
So level at 1 here as we get to the 40th minute. Here's Kenton. Caroline Murray. From hugging the line. Another ball that just wouldn't go out. Almendares trying to get to the corner. Murray. And it's a throw for Jacksonville. Well done by Caroline Murray. She and Paige Kenton combining on the play there.
It was good recognition of the press for sure. Almendares had really nowhere to go, just trying to protect the ball as much as possible, and they come out of it the best possible way with a throw-in. But a good opportunity here for JAX to press.
And here's Sophie Jones. One kicked out. Let's check back in with Emerson Burris down on the sidelines. There have been some changes made in the stadium as a result of Sporting JAX playing here before a permanent stadium is built.
Sporting JAX has made some major updates to Hodges Stadium to elevate the match day experience. In the most popular section, the club section, 2,000 additional seats have been added along midfield, the only area in the stadium with seat backs throughout. Now on the other side of the stadium, 6 new party shacks now sit on the far side of the stadium in the VIP village, complete with lounge access and a field view level. There's also, along the far side of the stadium, brand new row of premium leather seats, which puts fans closer to the action than ever before. Guys, there's been so many upgrades here, which gives fans so many opportunities to come out and experience things with Sporting JAX.
Yeah, being up on top there is the place to be as long as the rain isn't coming down. Those guys have a great perch to watch this game. Thank you, Emerson. Creating that match day experience. We've seen it all around the Gainbridge Super League, some of the creative ways to maximize the fan experience.
And I think that fan experience really pays off because the communities that support these teams, they want to see these people up close and personal, and I think they're getting an opportunity to do that in so many different ways at this stadium.
There's Pennick circling back. Well, Becky, the two players we highlighted at the top of the broadcast as players to watch have been the two goal scorers here in the first half.
Yeah, we must have had a crystal ball.
Aquino came out, and Kenton took the worst of it.
Definitely a brave challenge by both teams there, and hopefully everybody comes out of that all right. But Aquino, comes out, really makes contact.
Let's take another look. And the defender right in front of Kenton. 3 players in the ball all met at the same place at the same time.
That was all gas and no brakes for Kenton. She was going for that ball without even a look, and it takes a lot of courage to get in the mix like that.
Susanna Fitch wearing the captain's armband for DC Power. She's played professionally in the Czech Republic, in Iceland, a couple of months with the Houston Dash, for Napoli. First team all Gainbridge Super League last season. Stepped right in to the leadership role as the captain this year for DC Power.
Even at the relatively young age of 26, she's certainly a vet for this team and leads by example.
Here's Leicester. Closing minutes of the first half. Sporting JAX scored early, with Jade Pennick finding the net for the first goal in Sporting JAX history. Flag stays down on this one. Paige Kenton on the run out again. Feeds it to Pennick. This one saved by Aquino. And now the flag up.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be some interesting decisions that are going to have to be made in the locker room at halftime from this DC team. Once again, we just see balls played down the flank, leaving them a little bit exposed. They've got to try and figure out what they're going to do to shut that down.
All kinds of room there. And just offside. Final minute of regulation time in the first half. DC trying to create something here before the end of the half. Leicester kept it in. It'll be a Jacksonville throw. Here's Jada Bedoya. Back to Almendares. Sophia Bowman checking her. This one over the top and out. Four minutes of stoppage time here in this first half.
Not too much of a surprise with that. We've had a couple of injuries that have taken some time, and 4 minutes, this is going to be a critical period for both teams to make sure that they don't concede.
Can one side find a goal heading into halftime? Caitlin Parks sends one. Headed by Pennick. Chased down by Susanna Fitch for DC Power. And Aquino able to get to it just in time to avoid a corner kick. It'll be a throw for Jacksonville, though. Sporting JAX going quickly. And Leicester tracking back to it. Caroline Murray on the near wing. Sophie Jones tried to get it to Kenton. And a foul called on the Sporting JAX forward. Kenton's been very active in this game. She's been right in the heart of a lot of the action.
Absolutely. I'm just curious as to how DC is going to deal with that in the second half. It could be a little bit of a shape issue for them. They just seem to be using the width. JAX is using the width very, very well. And I think they've got to either figure out a way to stop that or find a way to match up.
Here's Meg Hughes. Pennick couldn't get to it. Cut off there by Claire Constant. Now Georgia Brown redirects for Sporting JAX. Take a look at Julia Lester, who will be playing for Sporting JAX throughout the course of the rest of 2025.
She's been really consistent this half, and like you mentioned earlier, her positioning has just been spot on.
I think as well, having that extra veteran leadership presence has been vital for this young team, particularly after the injury to Parker Roberts, another former Florida Gator. Pennick couldn't get to that one. Here's Gorley.
That was a good battle between two really good players right there.
Gorley and Lester. That one won by Jacksonville. And then Murray lost the battle along the near touchline.
These touchlines are a little tricky because you're not sure if the ball is going to stay in or not. And so far it has, and it's offered some opportunities to both teams for sure.
Gorley pounded one right into the chest of Sophie Jones. Huerta now to Bowman, who couldn't control it. Here's Fitch out wide. Closing moments of this first half. Stoppage time. Kenton, and now Bowman sends it down. Pennick will run onto it. The flag comes up. That may be the last touch of the half.
That was a little bit of a late flag, and she looked a lot offside.
And that is how the first half comes to an end. 1-1 at the break. Jade Pennick scoring the first goal in Sporting JAX history. And Gianna Gorley equalizing at the 38th minute. Becky Burley, your thoughts on this first half?
Well, again, I think you're right. Stacey Balaam can't be disappointed with the way her team has played. I'm sure she'd like to get that goal back, but man, the start they've had and the way they've possessed has been impressive.
It has been a game predominantly played in the attacking end for Sporting JAX. Halftime adjustments are certain to be made on both sides, but after both sides had to wait and wait and wait for this one to get underway, I don't think nerves were much of a factor here in this first half. It might have waited through the nerves.
It certainly did not seem to be that way. I think they were very confident. Sporting JAX was very confident coming out, and I think that DC was on their heels from the beginning, but certainly it didn't take long for them to get back on the board.
Stacey Balaam talking things over with her staff. Alan Kirkup on the left, Matt Cosgriff there on the right. Let's go down to Emerson Burris with our halftime interview.
All right, Jade, Sporting JAX is making history tonight. You are making history tonight. First goal in Sporting JAX history. Walk me through the emotions.
Yeah, I'm obviously buzzing. For me to get on the score sheet, I'm happy, but to make it the first goal for Sporting JAX in their history, yeah, I'm really happy with that.
DC had a quick response. You're now tied up 1-1 going into the second half. What does the team need to do to continue to build on it and get that lead back?
I think we're on top. We're obviously disappointed to concede. Sloppy goal, but for us, we just want to keep doing what we're doing and come out strong in the second half.
Jade, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Emerson. 1-1 at halftime in the inaugural match for Sporting JAX. DC Power has played it level through the first 45 minutes. Halftime show straight ahead from Jacksonville.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Greetings from Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida. Here, you'll find flip-flops and cowboy boots, sushi and soul food, surfers and skaters, Mozart and monster trucks, beachgoers and townies. Find art galleries and city murals, funky neighborhoods, and historic districts. Spend the day on the river or at the beach, in the park or on the trail, at the game or on the green. On the flip side, anything is possible, except running out of things to do. Learn more at visitjacksonville.com.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
At Honda of the Avenues, we do things a little differently. While we may be a high-volume Honda dealership, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience what it should be: fun, fast, and easy. You'll always find great deals on our huge selection of new Hondas. Plus, when you buy your new Honda from Honda of the Avenues, you get an additional 1-year maintenance. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues. Stop by or shop from home at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
A reason to celebrate the first match of the season for Sporting JAX and DC Power, and the first goal in Sporting JAX history by Jade Pennick. It's a 1-1 matchup at halftime as we bring you our halftime coverage presented by Ascension St. Vincent's. Also the first game for Sporting JAX here at Hodges Stadium. There is one player on the Sporting JAX roster who is certainly comfortable in this park, and that is former UNF All-American Zara Siassi. Didn't see action in the first half, but Emerson Burris got to know Zara Siassi just a little bit better.
Zara Siassi is focused, driven, and locked in. But off the field, she's known for something a little softer.
I've always been somebody who likes to cook and bake. My mom was a really good baker, so I think I inherited some of her genes from that. But as far as the bread, I started doing that about 2 years ago, making a sourdough starter and just looking up videos on Instagram and TikTok of how to do it and the different techniques.
Originally, Zara baked for herself, but when her teammates got a taste, things changed.
When I would give it to people, they would always ask me for it. I love giving to people, so that's my favorite part, is to see their reaction when they have it, and then also their reaction after they try it.
Zara grew up in Lake Worth, Florida, an only child who fell in love with soccer at an early age.
I have been playing soccer since I could remember. I probably started playing when I was around 5 or 6, and I never stopped. I played other sports as well, but I think soccer is really what stuck with me.
Now she's stepping into the professional game with a jersey that says Sporting JAX and a hometown crowd behind her.
I definitely have a lot of gratitude towards it. I think I don't take it for granted that I get this opportunity to play professionally. It's been my dream for a really long time.
And yes, she's full of surprises, including a few hidden talents.
A citizen of the UK, so I have UK citizenship. My dad was born there. I used to be scuba diving certified. I used to go scuba diving when I was in high school. So that was cool being down south, and the water's clear down there. So there's a lot of cool things to see.
As for 3 words to describe yourself,
3 words to describe myself are loyal, persistent, and creative.
1-1 at halftime. Sporting Jackson, DC Power, 45 minutes to play. Back with more of our Ascension St. Vincent's halftime report after this. Halftime at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville. Sporting Jackson, DC Power tied at 1 at the intermission. Let's take an inside look at the Gainbridge Super League's inaugural season, courtesy of our friends at Front Office Sports and Gainbridge.
In the past couple of years, the growth of women's sports has been undeniable.
Walking out on the field, seeing all our fans, all those little girls screaming our name, I have goosebumps.
It's just opportunity, opportunity, opportunity.
It's well publicized that we spend more than 40% of our sports sponsorship in the women's sports space. To take a leadership role with an organization that is already, even in its inaugural year, launched with 8 teams, 9 next year, talk of 10 or more in the 3rd season. They've already got an established broadcast partner.
Puts it in front! There it is!
When people are asking me, why did you do it? With all of that, you look and you say, well, why wouldn't we do it?
People are finally seeing what women can do in sport.
This is about investing in the future and the future of women.
You can stream the full documentary at frontofficesports.com. All right, let's look around the Gainbridge Super League with a look here in the kickoff weekend of the league. In addition to this game, 3 other games going on in the Gainbridge Super League. There are 3 teams in the state of Florida. Tampa Bay was on the road at Brooklyn, and Brooklyn with the 2-1 victory. Carly Giamona with a game-winning goal in stoppage time. What a shootout for Fort Lauderdale and Lexington SC. Giraggio with the goal, but of note there, some new faces. Amina Ekic, the former Spokane Zephyr, with 2 assists. Allison Pantuso, a goal and an assist for Lexington. And full-time Dallas, a 2-1 victor over Spokane. Allie Thornton's goal in the 70th minute, the difference there. Those are the Gainbridge out-of-town scores. The upcoming schedule includes the next time that Sporting JAX will play next week on the road at the defending champions Tampa Bay Sun as that Florida rivalry kicks off. Other matches include DC Power going cross-country, or rather Spokane coming cross-country to face DC Power, and Fort Lauderdale welcomes Carolina Ascent to town. All 3 matches on August the 30th. 1-1 our score at halftime here in Jacksonville. Sporting JAX and DC Power. Second half is coming up right after this. Halftime in Jacksonville. 1-1 the score. Jade Pennick scoring for Jacksonville. The first goal in Sporting JAX history came in the 7th minute. as she went top shelf for it. And Jacksonville controlled the first half until this counter by DC Power. And it was Gianna Gorley getting on the end of this one after a save by Parks. And Gorley equalized, and that's where we are, 1-1 as we get set to start the second half. DC Power will kick off to get things going. Changes for each side, one on each side. For DC Power, Madison Mernon comes in. The Jacksonville native, Sandalwood High School product. She's in on the back line, and right there with the ball at her feet is Daviana Vaca, another former Florida Gator. She's in for Caroline Murray, which pushes Julia Lester forward on the wing. And here is Lester coming forward for Sporting JAX. To Pennick. Dispossessed there. Georgia Brown comes up for it. Sophie Jones. And Pennick will play it back. What a moment for Mernon. Just about 5 miles away from where she went to high school. Playing here as the away side. Here's Lester coming forward. She's got Pennick to her left. Kenton to her right. Plays to Kenton. This one swung in and handled by Aquino. Jacksonville continues to be on the front foot as they were most of the first half.
Be interesting to see if there's any tactical changes, even though there's only a couple of substitutions. You know, certainly Lester being out wide can provide a little bit more opportunity for attack there. But you've also got a rookie, somewhat of a rookie, in Davi Vaca playing behind her now.
Vaca did feature with the Fort Lauderdale United last season. Her twin sister plays for Fort Lauderdale, so she has some familiarity. We talk about the veterans on this Sporting JAX team. Some of them just got about half a season of pro play last year after their college careers ended.
I think this Sporting JAX team has looked a little bit more experienced than their age might show.
This one sent out by DC. No, I agree with you. You wonder how it develops over the course of the season and how some of those leaders will develop from the young squad.
Well, to me, the surprise of the first half, I think, has been the Sporting JAX midfield maybe outplaying the DC midfield, which I think was pretty heralded coming into this.
There's Pennick with Bowman to her right. Needs it off for Bowman, but Mernon stepped in front of it and will send it away. Now, there'll be a lot of eyes on Mernon here tonight. Watch Madison playing in her hometown.
First moments
coming in for Murray.
Yeah, these first moments of the second half are always a little bit touch and go to see who's going to establish themselves again, and that's going to be a part of the storyline, I think, of this half, is the confidence that is generated by either side in restarting.
Mernon pokes it forward, coming back for it.
There's two of them.
There's Gorley. Now out wide for Bedoya. And couldn't handle it along the far side. It'll be a throw in for Jacksonville. You mentioned seemingly no shape changes for either side so far. Sparks pounces on that one. And at least from a Jacksonville perspective, what we saw in the first half, aggressive, possession-oriented soccer. There's Philpotts trying to come forward. Cut off there by Gilbert. Swings one over the top and easily handled by Parks. We're starting to see some of the same ideas. One of the things that Jacksonville players, especially Grace Philpotts, who's on the ball now, mentioned after playing against DC last year, talked about how athletic a team they were. and they certainly had not been running past Jacksonville at all.
No, we haven't seen that yet, but again, you know, Gurley keeps lurking on that back line, and you know, she's got a matchup now where she's against Georgia Brown, sometimes moving out against Vaca. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to really go at Vaca with Gorley's experience.
Here's Lester. Now Pennick, cut off by Mernon, and then handled by Aquino.
Both teams trying to find some rhythm here early.
Here's some of the chants from the First Coast Ultras, the supporter section for Sporting JAX. They have braved the weather and are getting their first look at their squad. There were a number of events leading up to the kickoff for this expansion team, including a downtown kickoff party, also a business kickoff luncheon. It included guest speaker Rihanna Scurry, the U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer.
The legend.
She was great.
Dangerous turnover here. Boarded.
Now Jacksonville will try to build something. Sophie Jones to make Hughes. And a sliding tackle by Alexis Theoret. Theoret, the former captain of the University of Virginia, was also captain of the US U23s.
Reunited with her teammate from UVA, Claire Constant, in the back.
Those two, you would figure, will play a key role for DC this year if they're going to have a charge toward the postseason. Of course, that's a long way off. Week 1 here. And this one rolls out. Will be a throw for DC Power. You talk about the Gainbridge Super League. The expectation, you talk to people around the league, everybody expects the level of play will rise this year. The teams that played last year, everybody other than Sporting JAX, had a chance to refine their rosters, refine their approach. A lot of new coaches in the league as well. There are 6 new coaches out of the 9 teams, including Stacey Balaam in Jacksonville and Omid Namazi with DC Power. Here's Philpotts. Out wide for Sophia Bowman, former Golden Gopher for Minnesota. Pennick back to Bowman. Now Pennick again. Blocked by Susanna Fitch. Pennick with a nice move. Pennick into the box and then turned away.
You know, Stacey Balaam told us a little bit about Bowman's engine, and we've certainly seen that on full display here. She is the Energizer Bunny everywhere on the field.
Just keeps going. Playing in that midfield, she's really a box-to-box midfielder. Here's Puerta with a corner. Meg Hughes is set up short.
She's serving.
And Georgia Brown is right there on the doorstep. This one sent in and headed away. Put right on the money by Puerta. Well defended by DC. That's been perhaps the most impressive thing we've seen from DC Power is how well they've defended set pieces tonight. Sophie Jones. This one back over the top. DC plays it out. This will be an opportunity for Jacksonville here. Here's Georgia Brown. Here comes Lester. Shot blocked away. And tracking back to it is Anna Bagley.
Well, Lester's making her presence known in the attack.
She started out the game playing on the back line and then has moved to the wing, and she's been impressive on both accounts. Here's Philpotts. Tried to through ball. And another throw for Jacksonville. Meg Hughes will take it. Theoret nicely played away for DC. Now back to Vaca. Philpotts again. She's been very steady, that left back position. Tried to sneak it through, Bowman did, to Hughes, but it was cut off. Now Vaca, back to Philpotts.
Vaca's done a good job of coming into this game off the bench and already looking really confident defensively.
Played her college career in two very different locales. Started at BYU, finished in Gainesville. And has also played internationally representing Tonga. From a big family. We mentioned her sister, her twin, playing for Fort Lauderdale. Here's Lester out wide. Swings one in. Nearly headed in. Bowman got to it. Now Philpotts collects. Out wide for Bowman again. And she wins a corner.
That was a terrific delivery by Lester. Looked like it was going to be a great opportunity, but just couldn't get on the end of it. And now that leads us to another corner for JAX.
This has been a trend we're seeing. This Jacksonville corner brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals. So far, though, Sporting JAX has not been able to threaten all that much with the corners. DC has handled them very well. They do again here.
And it's not for lack of service. I think Huerta's service has been really, really good. Probably just one of those things that they're going to have to tweak in terms of seeing how they can free up, especially a player like Georgia Brown.
Jacksonville with the throw. Meg Hughes. Hughes lifts one. Headed forward to Kenton. And the flag was up. Kenton has been poaching, trying to find that right moment to release, and she's had a couple of opportunities tonight.
She's right on the cusp. I'm not sure I'm hearing myself again.
Here is Lester. Now Bowman. Played ahead. Kenton can't catch up to it. Mernon tracking back to it for DC. And Aquino scoops it up as we near the hour mark. A goal in the 7th minute by Jade Pennick, the first in Sporting JAX history. And then the equalizer by Gianna Gurley in the 38th minute. Here's Lester again out wide. Tried to get it to Bowman. It'll be a throw for Jacksonville.
Solos. Looks like we're getting some opportunities out wide.
Play it back to Vaca. Left foot's one, headed away by DC. Philpotts collects, sends it back to Georgia Brown. Now to Puerta in the middle of the park and back to Sophie Jones. Little one touch for Pennick. She's got Kenton coming in the middle. Lester couldn't quite get her steps right. Now back for Philpotts. Hughes on the run. Had her hand grabbed by Susanna Fitch. And a free kick coming for Jacksonville. Puerta plays it out wide, but it was before everybody was ready. So she'll have another chance at it. Ashlyn Puerta. Everybody lined up at the top of the 18-yard box. Puerta, a high-end swinger, headed away by DC. Bowman trying for it, and now breaking away is Theoret. DC in transition. Bowman tried to poke at it, couldn't get it, and this ball sprayed wide. Let's go down to the sidelines once again, check in with Emerson Burks.
Thanks, guys. Earlier this week, we had the chance to talk to Sporting Jacks head coach Stacey Balaam on the key themes and identity of this Sporting Jacks theme. And she gave me 5 different things. 1, they need to be hardworking. 2, combative, win 50-50 balls, first 2 on set pieces. Cohesive, everyone work together. If one presses, the rest of the team presses. These last 2, organized and disciplined, which we're seeing tonight. And finally, expression and being creative. And she said that's key in the final third, and they're going to continue to work on that tonight, hopefully get another one in the back of the net. Guys?
I think Stacey Balaam would say she'd like to see a little more of that creativity and expression. There have been opportunities tonight, but just the one goal by Jade Pennick in the 7th minute. Jacksonville very patient right now as they try to build out of the back. Daviana Vaca. Lester playing it forward. Pennick and Vaca coming. Pennick plays it in. Kenton was coming, but needed a couple of more steps. DC will try to transition, but it's taken away by Puerta. Puerta, a shot from distance, just over the top. Guino lunging for it, couldn't get there, and it was just over the top of the ball. Ashlyn Puerta gave it a ride. Take another look here. Tried to tuck it under the bar from distance. We saw her score a goal from just about that same spot against Louisville last year playing for Florida State. On a different stage.
Number 30. Loza Gaimur coming in for number 2, Anna Bagley.
And we've had a substitution here for DC. Loza Abera is in, replacing Anna Bagley. So a veteran player coming in for DC. There are 31 caps for Ethiopia, 39 goals. So she is a goal scorer at her core. Parks blocked it and then jumped on it for Sporting Jacks.
Conditions down there are still pretty slippery, but you got to be really careful with spilling a rebound right in front of the net.
Lester. Weaving through traffic, leaving it for Vaca. And back to Caitlin Parks. We mentioned how this was a game that was going to be about new and different. In general, Sporting JAX, with all the new, has looked very good. And I think Omid Namazi would be pleased with DC Power, with all the different bodies on the roster and how they performed on the road here through 65 minutes.
Players be aware that sales of alcohol inside Hodges Stadium will end in the 70th minute. Please drink responsibly and designate a non-drinking driver.
Susanna Fitch will take the free kick from distance for DC Power. Headed away by Georgia Brown. Puerto with a nice first touch. It hasn't taken Georgia Brown long to start establishing herself as a not only a big player but a big personality on this squad. Her recent international experience with Scotland's U23s certainly has contributed. She played last year for the USL League team here in Jacksonville, then called Florida Elite, now Sporting JAX, and she was the Defender of the Year in the W League. She scored more goals coming forward on corners than her team conceded all season long. That is quite a stat. Look at Paige Kenton now.
Substitution for Sporting JAX in the game, number 11.
And here's Andrea Fernandez coming in and replacing the goal scorer, Jade Pennick. Andrea Fernandez talked about a goal scorer making her professional debut. Fernandez played her college soccer at Flagler College in St. Augustine, where she scored 75 goals in 78 games in college. Amazing. Just turned 25. She's from Spain originally. And she gives Jade Pennick a breather. Here's DC, the chip over the top, and in. Gianna Gorley has scored again. She caught Caitlin Parks off her line and puts it in to give DC a 2-1 lead. Taking a look here again in transition, and Gurley was just in the right spot, looked up and flicked it over the top. Beautiful bit of skill here. So now, for the first time, Jacksonville trails. Sporting JAX will have to work from behind. Down 2-1. Jacksonville will try to find a way to recapture things here. '70th minute. And we'll see if Jacksonville starts to show any pressure here. Here's Meg Hughes. Tried to leave it for Kenton. Cut off by DC. Fitch fouled as she tried to boot it away.
Substitution for DC. Entered the game, number 9. Number 16, Julie Gilbert.
Another substitution for DC as Ellie Gilbert sits down. And Katie Duong comes in. Maddie Kemp in for Jacksonville. And Maddie Kemp in for Sophie Jones, so a more attack-minded player here with Jacksonville down 2-1. We should also point out that Duong is very familiar with Sophia Bowman, having played together at the University of Minnesota before Duong transferred to Stanford. So a connection on the pitch here for those two former teammates. Vaca. Second half substitution.
Substitution in the game for Sporting JAX. Number 4. Maddie Kemp.
And a goal kick coming for Jacksonville. That goal by Gorley has taken a lot of the energy out of the crowd here that has been braving the rain and lightning, and a kickoff that came 2 hours after the intended kick. See if Sporting JAX can give them something to cheer about again. Here's Maddie Kemp, former Gonzaga and Kentucky player. Puerta in the middle of the park. With some player changes, it's been a little different here for Sporting JAX. Puerta playing a little deeper here. Rivera chasing after it.
Total 9,783 tickets were distributed this evening. Thank you, Sporting JAX fans. Make sure you get your tickets for the next home match.
Here is Puerta on the run again. He has Bowman on the inside. And send it, and chasing after it was Andrea Fernandez, but Aquino got there first. Two goals by Gianna Gorley. The difference in this one, Gorley scored 7 goals in 14 appearances last season for DC Power. And she has started off this campaign with a brace. On the run now is Jada Bedoya, with Bowman chasing after her. This one sent back by Georgia Brown, back to the feet of Caitlin Parks. Still some time remaining, but it is quickly becoming the adversary of Sporting JAX. Here's Lester on the run, tried to get there, and wins the throw for Sporting JAX. Now quickly Bowman. Here is Fernandez, Andrea Fernandez. Went all the way across the goal mouth. And it will be a goal kick for DC Power. Take a look at Maddie Kemp. There is Duong, brother Rivera, playing it out wide. And on the run, here's Emily Colton. DC looking for another. Defended but not closed out. And then a breakdown by Jacksonville and a goal for DC to make it a 3-1 DC Power lead. Jada Bedoya scoring a third for the visitors. Let's take another look here at the third goal for DC. You see Vaca got there to block it, and then it was recaptured by Bedoya, who put it away.
DC Power FC goal scored by number 11, Jada Bedoya.
75th minute, the goal for Bedoya. Now Jacksonville will be more desperate here in the final 15 minutes. Scored the early goal and had some opportunities. DC has been more opportunistic, though, when given their chances. You look at Omid Namazi. Part of his approach for this game, he wanted to control the tempo, and now they have been able to do so more effectively here in the second half. And a couple of goals has been the benefit for DC. Sent back to Georgia Brown. Now Leicester on the run. Vernon got there first. It'll be a throw-in for Jacksonville. Delta Marriott, the official team hotel partner for Sporting JAX. Kemp tried to get to it. Now here is DC. Transitioning again. Well done by Meg Hughes to get a foot to it. Played all the way through. A long run back for Grace Philpotts, who can't get there in time. And a goal kick and a moment of relief for Sporting JAX. It has been a tough last 10 minutes for the home team. One at halftime. DC Power getting 68th minute goal by Gianna Gorley. And then a 75th minute goal by Jada Bedoya. This one played all the way back to Aquino. So much anticipation for this game. So much excitement for the start. And boy, did Jacksonville come out hot. But DC has weathered the storm quite literally. Midfield. There's Meg Hughes getting it back to Grace Philpotts. Philpotts a long ball over the top. Paige Kenton chasing. Paige Kenton onside. And Andrea Fernandez put it over the top. But Kenton had some space there, just couldn't quite get the ball settled at her feet. And now player down for DC.
Substitution for Sporting JAX. Entering the game, number 15, Katie Sullivan. Coming out number 27.
So a substitution for Sporting JAX as they work on Claire Constant for DC United. And
Andrea Fernandez for Sporting JAX.
believe Paige Kenton has come off. And Katie Sullivan, you see there in the middle, has come on. And while they're tending to Claire Constant, teams will have a chance to gather themselves here momentarily. Easy to say here, Jacksonville is in need of not just a goal, but goals in the final 10 minutes of regulation time. We mentioned that DC Power didn't get their first win last season until October, so this would be a huge start for this team. They played preseason matchups against North Carolina Courage, Washington Spirit of the NWSL, a couple of games against nearby college teams, VCU and UVA. They really seem to get things going in the right direction midway through the spring portion of the schedule last season. Some of that, along with new players, is carried over, but it's been a familiar name, Gianna Gorley, scoring a pair to give DC the 3-1 lead. Here's Gorley. Ready to restart play here after Constant is brought off. And Aquino will send it deep. Rivera out wide for Emily Colton. Cut off by Grace Philpotts. Now Puerta. Kemp sends it back to Fernandez. Kemp battling for it. And Lester back for it, battling against Bedoya. Well, Lester will not back down, that's for sure. Jacqueline Metz, center referee, try to take the temperature down here a notch. Players not shying away from any contact. There's Kemp from distance. High ball into the box, headed away. Puerta will chase it down to throw it. Into Hughes. Past Sullivan and back to Puerta. To the spot. Couldn't find Fernandez there. Vaca will track back on it for Sporting JAX. You see the clock. Now certainly an ally for DC United. DC Power, rather. And Kemp may have gotten poked in the eye. Katie Sullivan with the throw. Into Meg Hughes. The offside flag up, and you see the frustration from Jacksonville. Meg Hughes swinging at it. It has been an evening of highs and lows for Sporting JAX, and building positives for DC Power. As the game has gone on, they have played better and better. There's Bowman with a second header. Now shift forward, but cut off there by Lester, who has just been everywhere for Sporting JAX tonight. The one slipped through and out for a throw.
It's time to vote for tonight's player of the match. brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Photo the QR code and tell us who your player of the game is.
Now back to Parks. Boy, that third goal has really taken the wind out of the sails for Jacksonville. Ever since Jada Bedoya found the net, it's looked like a different contest. Here's Constant. Now to Duong. And DC will be content to boot the ball down and let the clock continue to be an ally. All over the top. Tried to get it to Puerta. Cut off there by Constant. And the save by Parks. Pounces on that one. Keep it as a 3-1 game. Lester. Out wide for Katie Sullivan. Former Johns Hopkins star. Sullivan looking for a little room. Couldn't find it. Now to Philpotts. Sullivan again. And this one over the top. Susanna Fitch defending Sullivan quite well there. Closing minutes here in Jacksonville of what is an historic night, with Sporting JAX becoming the first fully professional women's team of any sport to represent Jacksonville. It looks like it's going to be DC Power coming away with the victory and spoiling the party. Here's Bowman. Ahead to Maddie Kemp. Check there by Katie Duong. Hughes back to Kemp. Addison Mernon cuts her off.
13 and 11 for Black coming out next.
Jada Bedoya.
Sub. We're gonna do
And
number
subs
13
coming
first.
for DC. And I believe both goal scorers will be coming off.
Once they come all the way off, lady, you're good to go. Once they come all the way off. And you don't have any jewelry on, right?
13, just maintain the jog. 13, maintain the jog, please. Thank you.
There is Gianna Gorley. 2 goals in their season debut. After playing on loan last year, now this season she's signed a full contract with DC Power. And Jada Bedoya also coming off after scoring the icing goal of this contest. Carly Frillis coming in along with Margie DeTrizio. DeTrizio, former Washington State and Georgia player. Here's Puerta. Tried to slide it through for Fernandez, but it was pounced on by Aquino. DeTrizio is in. She made her pro debut with Washington Spirit in March. And Frillis making her pro debut here in the United States. Did have 44 appearances and 13 goals for the Philippines internationally. Here's Puerta. And a throw for DC.
Substitution for DC Power.
Jacksonville welcoming Sporting JAX to the scene. DC Power going to start the season with 3 points and 3 goals, it appears. As we near the end of regulation time, hearing 4 minutes of stoppage time coming up at the end of regulation time.
Number 7.
Meg Hughes making the turn to fire it forward.
Number 11.
Now here's Maddie Kemp. The organization for DC Power has been very solid here in this second half. Had a few breakdowns in the first half, and Jacksonville had opportunities, scored once, but DC's defensive shape has been excellent here in this half. Here's Susanna Fitch coming forward. Now a shot over the top by Loza Abera. See the 4 minutes of stoppage time. DC will just try to take the air out of the ball here. Jacksonville trying to find that moment to change their fortunes here. There have been some stoppage time goals already here in the Gainbridge Super League in the first week. And offside flag up on the far side.
Definitely a tough second half for Jacksonville. This is a good thing to learn from, though. I mean, there's a lot of positives I think that Jacksonville can take from this, and certainly a lot of positives that DC can take, too. To be able to come back and take over a second half like they did shows a lot of character from their team.
Stacey Balaam in her professional coaching debut.
I'm sure she'll be a little disappointed with this outcome, but I also am very sure that she's going to find some positives to take, and this is going to be a great learning experience for this young JAX team.
Less than 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Chance for a run out here for Jacksonville. Hernandez chasing after it.
Have to give credit to DC how they've managed this second half. They've done a good job of controlling tempo, just like Coach Omid wanted to, and certainly they've made a difference.
Yeah, it has been a much more veteran performance here in the second half, I would say, for DC.
Absolutely. And to be fair, you know, JAX had some opportunities early, particularly in the first half, that could have put this game out of reach. And I think that's another thing that they'll learn from. When you leave a team hanging around, opportunities can happen, particularly when you've got a goal scorer like Gorley.
Trizio on the run, trying to get there. Georgia Brown cut her off. A throw for DC in the final minute of stoppage time here in the second half of the season opener for both Sporting JAX and DC Power. Philpott's coming forward for probably the final charge for Sporting JAX. De Puerta. Trying to get it to Hughes. And DC cuts it off. Here's Colton coming wide. She'll just take it to the corner flag.
Good.
Bowman sending it forward, and that is the final whistle. An impressive second half for DC Power in the opener. Omid Namazi's squad with a 3-1 victory over Sporting JAX as Jacksonville welcomes the Gainbridge Super League for the first time. Gianna Gorley with a brace. The difference in the game. Becky, the excitement and energy maybe wasn't what we had envisioned because of the rain. But boy, when Jade Pennick scored early, that certainly got things going for Jacksonville. But a very professional performance by DC after that.
Yeah, I think the idea of having a year of experience and maybe having some more experienced players on the field in the second half paid off for DC. Certainly can't fault them for what they did. That's a great comeback, and it's really, really cool to see the confidence that their team displayed, even being behind early. And again, great opportunity for Sporting JAX to learn what it takes to hold a lead, also learn what it takes to manage a game, particularly when changes happen.
We'll take time out, come back with some post-game coverage from Jacksonville. DC Power opens the season with a 3-1 victory over Sporting JAX in the Gainbridge Super League. Back here at full time in Jacksonville, DC Power, a 3-1 victory over Sporting JAX to kick off the season. Head coach Omid Namazi with the opening week victory in his DC Power coaching debut. Time now for our save of the game presented by Pepsi, turned in by Caitlin Parks in the second half. You take a look at it there. The save of the game presented by Pepsi. Sporting JAX player of the match. Well, it has to go to the goal scorer. And the first ever goal for Sporting JAX, Jade Pennick. Fresh off winning the Australian Championship in the A-League. Pennick punches her ticket with Jacksonville and the first goal in Sporting JAX history. Player of the match presented by Visit Jacksonville. Let's go down to Emerson Burris, who's standing by with the goal scorer 2 times for DC Power, Gianna Gorley.
Gianna, you're picking up right where you left off last year. 7 goals last year, 2 goals tonight. Walk me through the emotions of the game tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if I did hold that, but we started out a little rough. It was just the conditions, and I think we just came out a little bit on our back feet. But I think we went into the locker room and collected ourselves, and I thought we we fought and we showed grit and just showed a little sneak peek of what we're capable of for the rest of the season.
First game, first win under your belt. What do you want to work on going forward for the rest of the season, and what does this do for the confidence of the team?
I think we just want to work on our chemistry. I mean, we have a core group of girls, but we also have a bunch of new girls coming in, and just kind of working together to get that fit and continue to progress throughout the season.
Gianna, thanks so much. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate it.
Guys.
Thank you, Emerson. Gianna Gorley, 2 goals in the opening week to get things started for DC Power. More coverage from Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville when we come back.
Greetings from Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida. Here, you'll find flip-flops and cowboy boots, sushi and soul food, surfers and skaters, Mozart and monster trucks, beachgoers and townies. Find art galleries and city murals, funky neighborhoods, and historic districts. Spend the day on the river or at the beach, in the park or on the trail, at the game or on the green. On the flip side, anything is possible, except running out of things to do. Learn more at visitjacksonville.com.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
At Honda of the Avenues, we do things a little differently. While we may be a high-volume Honda dealership, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience what it should be: fun, fast, and easy. You'll always find great deals on our huge selection of new Hondas. Plus, when you buy your new Honda from Honda of the Avenues, you get an additional 1-year maintenance. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues. Stop by or shop from home at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
The First Coast News Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Have the umbrella in the back seat, the rain jacket ready to go.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
Let's get some breaking news we've been following overnight.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. First Coast News Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
After heading to Tampa next week, Sporting JAX is back in Jacksonville on September the 6th. 7:30 kickoff here at Hodges Stadium to face Dallas Trinity. That's the next home match for Sporting JAX. Go to sportingjax.com for tickets. Becky Burley, your thoughts on the opening match of the season for these two squads?
Well, certainly the delay didn't help the environment, but I got to give a shout out to all those people who stuck around. Tough conditions, but they weathered it through. And for Jacksonville, I think they've learned a lot in this, and I think for DC, they've learned a lot about their new midfield and what that can do for this team going forward.
Now, there was a day of firsts in Jacksonville. First game for Sporting JAX. First brace for Gianna Gorley for DC. And the first goal for Sporting JAX as well. 3-1. DC Power with the victory to open the Gamebridge Super League campaign. Thanks for watching. For Becky Burley and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. See you next time here on Pekin.
Retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.